The Last Stone Carver, Section 3. From the workshop, the chipping sound of the chisel reached his ears. He listened. Had his ears deceived him? No, he could hear it again. The strong blow of the hammer on top of the chisel. Gopal, he was back. Gopal had returned. He would help him. They would finish the statue. He stumbled to his feet, crossed a small room, and reached the door. Gopal, he was about to shout when the words froze on his lips. No, he wanted to cry out, "Stop, stop the work." But he couldn't move. Shock had immobilized him. He stood staring at the back of the young stone carver, working on the face of the statue, on the eyebrows, arcing over a pair of fine eyes. But it wasn't his son sitting cross-legged before the biggest statue he had ever carved. It was Salim, his servant. The old man watched stunned. The first wave of shock, fear, and anger passed to give way to a feeling of great relief and happiness. "Hi, Ram," the old man whispered. "Hi, Ram," and tottered over to the boy. Dropping his hand on his shoulder, he said softly, "Salim." The startled boy turned and looked up at his master. He rose to his feet, clumsily, the hammer and chisel still in his hands. "Salim," the old man searched for words. I only wanted to help," whispered the boy. I'll learn. If you teach me, Master Ji. I have practiced secretly for almost 2 years in the quarry. Please tell me, for many years I wanted to become a sculptor like you. Yet I fought the feeling. But it proved too strong. I know there is nothing in this world I would like to do more. There is nothing in life that I could do better. I want to become a stone carver. Will you please teach me, Master Ji?" The old man pulled the boy's head against his shoulder and whispered, "There's nothing I can teach you, my son, beta. Go ahead. You have it in your hands and in your heart. I know you will be one of the country's finest stone carvers." So as the old man woke up, he heard the chipping sound of the chisel. That is, somebody was working on the statue. He heard them. So he had his ears deceived him. He's thinking, is it wrong? Is he thinking simply that some noise is coming, like the chipping sound, or he could hear it again? He was again listening, and again he could hear it. Now he understood that it was real. There was a strong blow of the hammer on top of the chisel. So that sound he could hear. So he thought his son had come back, and he's running. He stumbled on his feet. That means what? Stumbling, he's running, crossing the small room, and he reached the door, and he's shouting, "Gopal." But when he was about to shout, he froze on his lips. That means he stood stunned there, because in front of him, he wanted to cry out, "Stop, stop the work, don't do the work." He wanted to tell the person whom he was seeing in front of him, but he couldn't move. Shock had immobilized him. Because of shock, he just stood like that. He didn't even move. He stood staring at the back of the young stone carver, working on the face of the statue, on the eyebrows, arcing over a pair of fine eyes. So it was that young man was beautifully carving there, and he was just stunned, and he was standing. But it wasn't his son sitting cross-legged before the biggest statue he had ever carved. It was Salim, his servant. So he was just shocked. It was not his son, it was his servant there sitting, and he was really shocked. The old man just watched with stunningly how beautifully and how maturely and how he was carving that statue. The old man whispered, he called on God, "Hi Ram, hi Ram." He's calling on God, and he praised God, and he's telling, he said softly, touching the shoulder of Salim. He called him Salim. The startled boy, he never expected the man to get up and come suddenly. So the boy was startled and he slowly got up to his feet and with his hammer and chisel in his hands. He was stunned. The old man was so astonished that he couldn't even find words to call him Salim, he's telling. I only wanted help, the boy whispered. He was afraid because such a great master, what would he think of him? He said, I practiced secretly for almost 2 years. I had practiced this. So please tell me, for many years I wanted to become a sculptor like you. My only aim is to become like you. But I didn't show it out because I was afraid. So I didn't tell you. And I know that there's nothing in this world I would like to do more than becoming a sculptor. So his main aim, that is his main happiness in life, was to become the sculptor. So I want to become a stone carver. Will you please teach me, Master Ji? He is asking. The old man pulled the boy's head against his shoulder and whispered. So he pulled him and then he's slowly telling him, there's nothing I can teach you, my son beta. I no need to teach you anything. Already you are an expert. I can see it in your hands. The old man is telling, there's nothing in this world I can teach you. See how beautifully you are sculpting. You are more than my son. So go ahead. Everything is in your hands. You are a great sculptor. And I know you will be one of the country's finest stone carvers, he's telling. Yes, he's blessing him because he's very happy seeing his servant doing better than his son. So, because of the only interest the Salim had in the stone carving, he was able to do this. So, he was very proud. The old man was very proud of him and blessed him that he will become one of the best stone carvers. So the only interest of the stone that the Salim in stone carving had brought him to this height. So children, thing we learn with passion, with full interest, we can achieve. That is what this lesson teaches us. Hope you like this. Thank you.